Hi, my name is Amy, and I'm an intermedia artist from Louisiana. I've recently been working on a performance installation / video piece that I've uploaded to YouTube called Fleeting Ghost being one word. It's an ongoing project that I'm continuing to work on because I feel like it has a lot of potential to explore a lot of different things. The piece is about nightmares and the lengths that we go to deal with them and conquer them, and the manner in which they plague us, which is very potent to me at this moment. Recently, when I did Fleeting Ghosts, I created what I call the fabric forest. And the fabric forest consisted of 27 pieces of this gauzy white fabric, which are 6 inches wide and about 6 feet long each. And with them, I created this circular structure, and I was able to film the exterior of that structure as well as myself performing things inside the structure itself. And I want to preserve that element. However, what had ended up happening was, in the spur of the moment, I went into my studio and found whatever materials I could find and created this harness, which, as you can see, is kind of rudimentary. It's made of coat hanger wire and string and duct tape and pieces of old dowels, and it's completely unstable and it's hideous. So it only has certain usages. And in the YouTube video it was fine because it wasn't visible, but I'm ready to move on and create a new harness that will be something more substantial and more usable for future incarnations of the project. What I'm moving on to do is create basically a large oval. This was a circle, and if I can bring it back over here, because I'm going to use it somewhat as not as a pattern, but as a general thing that I'm using. I wanted to put it down and get an idea of what kind of spatial arrangement that I'm dealing with, because I was very happy with the way that the fabric forest came around and enclosed the character that I was playing. And the character was a mix of poetry and voiceover and sound and strange, peculiar samples of sound effects, as well as myself playing Cassandra, who's of course from Euripides' Hekabe, and her fight against visions that she was given from Phoebus Apollo as her punishment for not taking him. What I've acquired is these strange pieces of foam insulation. They're almost like foam core, but not really. But there's some type of insulation, and they were being discarded. And I love working with stuff that's being thrown away because that makes me feel much less like a consumer and like I'm actually being practical about things. And my idea was to make a really big oval out of at least one of these, maybe two, and attach the fabric forest to it from the inside. So what I wanted to do was just do a brief documentary, in which I'm starting to work on this, and I'm going to have it done by the end of the week, of this interesting idea of cutting from this wonderful, sturdy foam a gigantic oval. And what I'm going to end up doing is painting it, painting it or covering it in something. Probably covering it in something, because I think painting it would probably dissolve it. But because I've worked with foam before, and it dissolves if you paint it. Painted white to match, because everything in the video, everything in the installation is white. It's this white sort of sterile hospital environment. The costume is white. Everything is white. The floor is white. The fabric forest is white. And I'm also going to make sure that this harness that I make is also white. what I'm doing is I'm going to go over this with some type of material. I actually might even make something out of fabric to cover this with. That's actually a really good idea. Just came up with that just now. This is going to be something that I cut out. You know, it doesn't have to be geometric. It can be fairly organic. But the idea is to allow an opening at the top. Because one of my big ideas, especially in the case of the live performance installation, is to enable light to come from above. And you know, if it's just a solid piece of foam, we won't be able to achieve that. But if there's a hole in it, we'll be able to achieve that. And then also, one of the things I want to experiment with further is projecting onto the fabric forest, onto these moving, and especially if I can achieve a wind effect, you know, and have the fabric moving. But the idea is to attach all the way around like a wall, these pieces of fabric, then have this hole, and then to this I'll be able to suspend, you know, some type of string or wire to the ceiling and be able to create this wonderful little enclave in which a performance can take place, a piece of visual art can take place, and all these different images and impressions that I've been working on will be present for this piece that's really coming together for me. Thanks for listening.